Have you ever felt like you need a science degree just to figure out what to eat? Seriously, one minute something's a superfood, the next it's terrible for you. It is so confusing, right? Well, today we're gonna cut right through all that noise. So let's ask the big questions. Is there really one perfect diet that works for every single person? Are those juice cleanses you see everywhere actually the miracle cure they claim to be? And does having a perfect body automatically mean you're healthy? It's easy to get lost in all this, so let's tackle some of the biggest myths and get to the truth. So here's what we're diving into. We're gonna bust 6 of the most common myths in healthy eating. We'll start with that one-size-fits-all diet idea, then look at juice cleanses. After that, we'll get into the real story on dairy and gluten. We'll also ask if supplements are really a long-term fix. And finally, we'll talk about what it truly means to be healthy versus just looking good. Okay, let's jump right into our first myth. This idea that there's one single, perfect diet out there for everyone. You've heard it a million times, but is there any truth to it? Think about a koala for a second. Its diet is incredibly simple. It eats eucalyptus leaves, and that's pretty much it. But us, humans are way more complex. Our gut microbiome, the trillions of tiny bacteria in our digestive system, is totally unique to each other. Our needs change with our age, with the seasons, even with our body temperature. So a one-size-fits-all diet, it just doesn't make any sense for a species as diverse as we are. And speaking of our individual needs, let's talk about juice cleanses. They're everywhere, right? But are they really the miracle detox everyone claims they are? In a lot of health traditions, there's this concept of a digestive fire. Basically, it's the metabolic heat your body uses to break down food. Now, if you're someone who's always feeling cold, chugging a cold juice is like pouring a bucket of water on that fire. It can really slow everything down. And here's the thing, while juices do have a lot of micronutrients, they're missing one absolutely crucial ingredient: fiber. You can think of fiber as this sort of intestinal broom that sweeps everything clean. Without it, you're not really getting a true detox. So yeah, a small juice can be a nice little boost, but it's definitely not a replacement for a solid meal. All right, time to tackle a big one, dairy. It gets such a bad rap, right? So often it's painted as this enemy that we all need to cut out completely. But honestly, the real story is so much more complicated than that. It's so important to get this. Not all dairy is created equal. The milk you see in most supermarkets, high-temp pasteurized from grain-fed cows, is a totally different world from the raw, grass-fed dairy our ancestors consumed. Modern processing can actually change the protein structures in milk, making it more inflammatory and just harder for our bodies to even recognize. Ancestral dairy, on the other hand, is usually way easier for us to handle. And here's a real mind-bender for you. What if your intolerance to dairy isn't really about the dairy at all? A lot of the time, it's actually a huge red flag that your gut is already irritated and inflamed. If you focus on healing your gut, you might just find you can enjoy high-quality dairy with no problems at all. And you know what? That idea leads us perfectly into our next myth, which is all about gluten, because it follows a very similar pattern. It's another one of those foods that gets a bad reputation, but once again, we really need to look a little closer. Just like with dairy, there is a massive difference between the gluten in the wheat we eat today and the gluten from the past. Modern wheat has been hybridized over and over for higher yields, and then it's refined to death. Its gluten structure is just different, and that's what can trigger inflammation. Compare that to whole, unrefined ancestral grains like spelt. So many people find those are much, much easier to digest. So often, the real culprit isn't just one single ingredient. It's this industrial trio: refined white flour, pasteurized milk, and plain white sugar. Think about how many processed foods have that exact combination. It's basically a recipe for digestive trouble. It's the mix, not always just one isolated component, that causes so many problems. So if processed foods are part of the problem, are supplements the solution? Well, that leads us right into myth number 5, this idea that you need a whole medicine cabinet full of pills and powders to be healthy. I love this French word for this concept, béquilles. It literally means crutches. And think about it, that's the perfect metaphor. Crutches are amazing when you're injured and need support, but you don't want to use them forever, right? Supplements are exactly the same. They can definitely help in a pinch, but they almost never fix the root problem. And there's another catch to think about. If you're constantly giving your body something it's perfectly capable of making on its own, like, say, digestive enzymes, it can get, a little lazy. It might start producing less of its own, and before you know it, you're dependent on the supplement. The real goal should be to help your body do its own job, not to do the job for it.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important myth of all. It's the idea that what you see on the outside, that perfect, sculpted body, is the ultimate sign of good health.
I absolutely love this analogy. Imagine you have this magnificent, shiny Ferrari. You spend all your time polishing it, making it look perfect, but then you pop the hood and inside is this tiny, struggling two-stroke engine. It's all for show. The exact same thing can be true for the human body. An impressive-looking exterior can easily be hiding an interior that's really struggling. And that gets us to a really fundamental truth. Real health is an inside job. It starts from within. When you focus on nourishing your body from the inside out, a healthy appearance is just a natural, positive consequence. It's not the primary goal itself. So, what does real health actually feel like? Well, it's waking up in the morning actually feeling energized. It's having smooth, easy digestion. It's feeling light and comfortable in your own body. It's living without constant aches and pains. Those are the true signs of health, not some number on a scale or what you see in the mirror. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. We spend so much time and energy focused on what to cut out, what to eliminate, what to restrict. But what if we flipped the script and asked a totally different question? What can I add to my life that will truly nourish me from the inside out? Now that is a really powerful place to start.